That's what hip hop does. It finds our next leaders.
He is a multi-platinum Grammy-nominated artist, philanthropist, entrepreneur, and now you can add New York Times best-selling author on that list. Y'all make some noise for my big bro, Jeezy. New York Times best-selling author now.
Yes.
How'd you feel when you first found out the news, bro?
I was shocked. I mean, you know, for one thing, I didn't have those intentions when I wrote the book. In the author world, I understand that's a big deal. And for me, coming from the struggle, the streets, and representing the culture, to me, I felt like that was one for the culture. That was for us. We got on the New York Times bestseller list, so y'all give it up for yourselves, because we did that together.
Y'all make some noise. When you talk about in the book, you say that when you first got into music, it was therapeutic. Did you find this process was therapeutic?
Oh, for sure. Writing those records was therapeutic because I didn't have anyone to talk to the things that I was going through, so I put it in my music. So it was almost like I was journaling. This was therapeutic for me because I realized that there was a lot of trauma that I hadn't dealt with yet. And writing this book, I had to come face to face with it, right? And these are things that, as an adult, you feel like, you know, I moved past that, it's all right. But now I'm realizing that there's some work I gotta do here.
You know, there's so much I want to go through, but
yeah,
another pivotal moment in the book is when Tip actually pulled you to the side and said, hey, bro, you can't be in the streets and do music at the same time.
Right.
And you were shocked when he said that at first.
Yeah, I mean, because for one, I thought, you know, Tip was the dope boys in the trap too, so I thought that's what he was trying to trick me out of my sack. There's that. He's a really smart guy, so you know you gotta, you know, he was reverse psychology is what they call it. From where I was standing, I thought if you wasn't living what you were saying, that you were lying, therefore that would make you a fraud, and why would somebody support your music or your movement, right? So I was holding on to my old life, trying to live my new life, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like I had to let go, so I just needed that. And I believe in God, I mean, more than you could ever imagine, because a lot of the stuff that happened in my life wasn't because of me. You know, I'm not that smart. And a lot of the things that happen when I get in these situations is always someone or something that comes to give me a sign. And when Tip came and had that conversation with me, I was ready to receive it. Right, I was ready, and I just needed it to come from somebody that I respected, and it was him.
One of the things the lessons that stuck out to me, and I've been kind of repeating it in my head ever since I heard it, was my price is my price. I don't take no shorts.
From nobody. And the craziest thing is, this is where it get real. The person who taught me that was Marcus Clemens.
That's right.
He taught me that one night. We was all in the little trap house. And he came in, it was in the winter, and he kicked the door in, and he was cussing and everything, and he had like some money balled up in his hands, and he was like, yo, he shorted me, and woo, and I'm just like, all right, well, how much was he supposed to give you? He said, $10. I said, how much he give you? He said, $8. I said, well, that's good then, right? And he like, nah, he threw the money in the fireplace, and the money bun rain. He looked at me, he said, my price is my price. He said, if you start taking shorts now, it'll be $2. The next thing you know, it'll be $200. Next thing you know, it'll be $2,000. Next thing you know, it'll be $2 million. He said, Lil J, don't ever take no shorts. That meant know your worth.
Yeah.
Don't take a dime less. And even when I walk in these buildings and I'm doing this negotiation and I'm coming up with these logics, there's no emotions attached to it. I learned business in the streets. When I walk in that room, I'm like, I already know what I'm worth and what I want. So you can't talk me out of that.
All right, he's a native of Atlanta, a graduate of Georgia Tech, a member of the greatest fraternity on earth. Y'all make some noise for the 61st mayor of Atlanta, Mayor Andre Dickens.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
When did you first get exposed to Jeezy's music? Because, you know, it was so different during the Atlanta scene at the time. And you actually talk about this in the book. Because you said you were not as crunk as Lil Jon.
Right.
You weren't as lyrical as Tip.
Yep.
You weren't as spiritual or political as Outkast and Dungeon Family.
Yep.
You was something different. So, Mr. Mayor, when did you first hear Jeezy, and what did you think?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, them ad-libs are just notorious, bro. Like, okay, first, was Icy with Gucci Mane. When that came out, bro, so icy, and you just killed it on that song. Like, who is this dude? And then when you did the, Boys on the Block or whatever, that joint, that was killer. And then, we had to come out with you came out with Thug Motivation.
Yes, sir.
That Thug Motivation 101, man, I mean, like, whoo, ain't nothing like it. I mean, like, seriously. And so the ad-libs, like, it was a patient flow. And I can fan out on hip hop. Like it's a very patient flow. It's like I know what I'm gonna say. I ain't gotta rush it. I don't have to, add 1,000 words to get there. But you just like, yeah.
It is. Let's get it.
It's like, let's get it. And then like we all know, like, yeah. like, you say, yeah. And these ad-libs just get you there, man.
Yeah.
And it lets you settle into the song. The beat's a monster. And so you kind of ride the beat better than anybody, man.
Appreciate that, brother. I just always tried to make sure that my voice was the last instrument on the track, and that's how I went about it. And you're right, that's what it was. It was a patient flow, like because I knew I was gonna speak my truth, so there was no reason to rush into it,
I know you both are very busy, so we'll wrap it up on this question right here. We're celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
Yes.
What does hip hop mean to you, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, man, being somebody that grew up on hip hop, man, it's like ingrained in my DNA. It's part of my soul. It's part of my who-ness. Who I am it's got, all written all over it. I remember when I first heard hip hop, my sister sitting right here, when her music coming out of her room changed from Prince to like Curtis Blow and Houdini, and it was like we playing basketball is my favorite sport I used to do. Oh, I was like, what is this? This is different. It's a beat. The dude's talking over it, and I was like, okay, that changed my whole trajectory. We went from R&B to just hip hop, and so it's basically, a part of who I am, how I've grown up. So it's about freedom. Like literally hip hop gives you freedom. You can come from anywhere and be able to put your thoughts, your ideas, your ambitions, your struggles, your hopes, your dreams, all the things that you want, you can just say them and you can put a rhythm to it, and next thing you know, you've got a hit. And I think that it gave a tremendous amount of freedom for people that, might not necessarily know how to communicate, poetically or how to sing a song, but you can get out there and you can write this, using this new art form that we have called hip hop. And then you can say something like "My president is black" before it happens. Hip hop moves Atlanta for sure. And Atlanta is who it is now, also partially because of the hip hop culture. And certainly hip hop wouldn't be a thing without Atlanta, right?
It's that.
Yeah.
Everybody can be an artist, but not everybody can be a leader. And that's what hip hop does. It finds our next leaders, right? And that's what it's really about, because when it's time for these elections and these things that go on, we gotta unite together because we know how to mobilize people, right? Look at how many entrepreneurs hip hop has made in the last 50 years. Like, look how much of the world that we are able to touch. I mean, like, think about it. They think the hip hop did something in 50 years. Just wait till the next 50 and holler back at us. You feel what I'm saying?
Y'all make some noise for Jeezy. Y'all make some noise for Mayor Dickens.